Hello, this is my project pitch for SIT210 about security and safety. My name is Jared Yong, and I will be presenting this pitch today. So the background of this is that currently, the current outbreak of coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, has been slowing down as of recent times, and with the normalization of most areas, the current workforce is slowly heading back to their offices. With that in mind, security and health issues are still a requirement to prevent further spread of the virus. As the population returns to their offices and most use cards to enter their office, such as office cards, ID cards, and other things like that, there have been very little ways of reducing the spread of COVID, and the following ways are currently practiced in offices and the like. With the first option being hand sanitizers. These have been a big staple in helping prevent the spread of COVID. Hand sanitizers can be used with water or via hand rubs without water. The more practical use with these are in shopping centers. And the second one are temperature screenings. Whilst not as accurate as other methods, temperature checks have been proven to be a good screening method to detect early onsets of COVID-19. Currently in Australia, these two strategies are implemented via human analysis and, well, usage, obviously. So this model aims to reduce possible exposure to COVID-19 and provide a safe and secure environment for office workers using existing systems and amplifying the safety for the users via a smart system. The components of this particular solution will be a particle argon, a Raspberry Pi, any version will do. An ultrasonic sensor for this, it's used in place of a card reader as I have not been able to obtain one, but if you can, then there you go. A temperature sensor or an infrared sensor will also work. LEDs, preferably 3 to 5 different colors to represent different states of the machine. Jumper wires as well for the breadboard and programming your sensors and LEDs. The software will include the Particle IDE, the RPI Python IDE, IFTTT, and an MQTT broker. How it will generally work is the card scanner will first be scanned by the person that goes into there, and the particle argon will collect all that data for the thing, and they will also get temperature scanned at that point as well. From there, the particle argon will send the data to the IFTTT, in which it'll check the temperature of the person as well as the card ID from there, and if their temperature is less than 37.5 degrees, they'll allow the worker to continue. If it's greater than that, it'll notify staff and also not let the door open or unlock the door for the person to get in. From there, the particle argon will send this data to the Raspberry Pi, and it'll censor the lights and things like that to be like, yep, this person has scanned a card, and goes from there, whether or not it opens the door or unlocks the door for the person based on their temperature scan. To summarize, the system is triggered when personnel scan their ID card, etc., which in this case is the ultrasonic sensor. Once triggered, it activates the temperature scanner and cross-checks the ID card as well. Once their temperature is confirmed, the sensors will send the data through the argon to IFTTT for further analysis and improvement, and the relevant staff are notified of said results. The Raspberry Pi also gets this data from the argon through I2C and implements a check, and if they have scanned their card, if their temperature is normal or within the given range, and also checks if both are fine so that the door will either unlock or not unlock. So the potential problems within this project is, well, hardware malfunction. There's a lot that can go wrong with this, considering the amount of things we're using with both the particle argon, and the Raspberry Pi, and all the associated sensors. There's also power failure or loss of network connection for said feed, because this is all happening live as it goes on. And at any point, if either the scanner or temperature sensor goes down, then technically no one can get in the building as well. So the possible solutions in this are that ensuring that the higher quality equipment is used and maintained properly so that there are no hardware malfunctions, and that tests also must be done a fair amount to ensure that the implementation is successful and works altogether. For the power failure, potential backup generators or power supplies that could potentially help that as well. So that way, if there is power failure, the system will still be up and running. And as well, having another way of access with safety precautions in mind outside of this system will also help. And that is my project pitch. Thank you for listening.